Do you feel like you've blown it when it comes to healthy eating now before Pesach? The stress or lack of routine is making it hard for you to stick to what you know you should be eating? Let's take a deep breath together. Hi, I'm Zippi, Livneh, the Jewish sugar-free nurse. And if you're watching this, maybe you watched my last video about how to manage around the pre-Pesach stress. And you had all the best intentions, and then it just all went kablooey. Maybe you found yourself at the bottom of a box of Purim leftovers, or you're grazing on snacks because you don't really have the time to make a proper meal for yourself. While you're scrubbing the kitchen, you're just scarfing down stuff. And now there's this voice in your head. It's a loud, harsh voice telling you that once again you failed, that you have no willpower, that you're weak, and, well, you just may as well give up until after Pesach. So I'm here as a nurse and a sugar addiction counselor to tell you that that voice is a lie. That voice is the biggest obstacle to you reaching your goals for healthy eating and recovery. So let's talk about the clinical truth about shame. In my 30 years of nursing and counseling for sugar and ultra-processed food addiction, I have met hundreds of women who struggle with sugar and processed carbs, and I want to tell you something I have learned for a fact. I have never yet met a woman or man who recovered long-term from sugar or ultra-processed food addiction by beating herself up. I'll say that again. I have yet to meet the woman who made long-term changes from destructive eating habits to healthy eating and built a new and loving relationship with her food by coming down hard on herself. When you beat yourself up, your brain treats that as a self-attack, as a major stressor. In other words, it causes that automatic knee-jerk reaction to turn to the sweets and junk to get relief from the stress. And your brain is going to look for a way to numb out. So shame doesn't lead to change. It leads to the next binge. If being hard on yourself worked, you would have been cured years ago. If self-blame, guilt, and shame led to real lasting change, I would have been cured years before I knew anything about sugar-free recovery. We need different tool. Forgiveness as a strategy. If you are in that group of people I often talk about, the ones who do better with total abstinence rather than moderation, those are my clients usually, a slip up can feel like the end of the world. If you're on a diet, it can feel like, here's one more thing that I tried and failed at. But here is the professional reality. A slip, even a big one, is a data point. It's not a character flaw. Instead of saying, I'm a failure, we need to ask, what happened here? Wait, now here is a critical point about asking that question of yourself. Ask it from a place of curiosity, not judgment. Try to imagine there's a camera on you that's calmly observing and try to understand what happened and why. Was I too hungry because I skipped lunch to clean? Was I feeling overwhelmed by the to-do list? Was I feeling anxious about the guest list? Was I physically exhausted and just felt like I need some quick energy and that's my automatic reaction? Now, some of you might be thinking, Zippi, I know, but I've blown it already so bad. I'm just going to eat whatever I want now. And then it'll satisfy those voices in my head. And then I'll get really serious the morning after Pesach. So I want to warn you, after 30 years of experience and knowledge about this, that this is the hardest way to recover or get back on track. When you let yourself go, you are overstimulating the brain's reward center with so much junk and so much sugar that you're actually making the cravings monster bigger and much stronger. The more you feed that voice, the louder it gets. After Pesach comes, your brain will be screaming for that hit of sugar. So giving up and giving in until you're ready means you're making the mountain much steeper for your future self. It is much, much easier to brush off the dust, forgive yourself for that one rugelach or whatever it was, that one event of overeating, and stay in the game. A messy, imperfect track is still a track. A total letting go is jumping off a cliff. Being soft on yourself isn't about making excuses or saying it doesn't matter. It's about being a gentle scientist. Cortisol is the hormone of stress. When you forgive yourself, you lower your cortisol, the stress hormone levels. And when your cortisol is lower, your cravings actually get weaker. So forgiveness is a physiological or biological strategy for success. Now, as my mentor told me, every slip is also an opportunity to learn something about yourself. What is your shiur here? What are you capable of doing differently in order to have a different outcome? Now, let's talk about the spiritual side, or the tshuva of food. Our Jewish tradition believes in tshuva, in the ability to turn back. Hashem doesn't want you to be perfect, and if you stumbled an hour ago even, that doesn't define you. One of the names of Pesach is Zman Cherutenu, the time of our freedom. So true freedom isn't just about being free from the avdut, from the being enslaved to sugar and junk food. It's about being free from the avdut, from the bondage of self-hatred. You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself that you love. Share this with somebody that you know is struggling. You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself that you love. So what's the next right step? If you've had a hard day or you feel like you messed up, here's your assignment. Forgive yourself. Right now, tell that harsh voice, thank you for trying to keep me on track, but you aren't helping. You do not serve me. Treat yourself as you would a dear friend you care deeply about. Give yourself the gift of compassion. This is the first step to setting yourself free. Then do the next right thing. Don't wait till tomorrow. Have a glass of water, eat a high-protein snack, and move forward. If you're finding that the voice is too loud and you can't do this alone, I want to help. I've put together an easy sugar-free recipe guide to help you stay on track. You can download it for free in the description. When you download the free recipe guide, you'll also find a link to my sugar-free recovery program if you want to join the hundreds of women who learn to be kind to themselves while they heal their bodies and their relationship with food. Tell me in the comments, what's the one kind thing you can say to yourself today to get back on track? I'm Zippi Livneh, the Jewish sugar-free nurse. You are stronger than you think. You are worth the effort. I'm wishing you and your family a happy and kosher Pesach.